from WHAS 11 News. This is coverage you can count on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Melissa Swan.
And I'm Gary Rodemeyer. First tonight, Louisville cyclists are taking to the streets to protest what they call dangerous riding conditions.
In the city, there were a couple thousand bike accidents last year, and this summer, the horror stories continue. Now, many say they're fed up. Adam May joins us live from Waterfront Park with tonight's 19 top story. Adam?
Well, Melissa, this at Waterfront Park is probably one of the safest places you could ride your bike in the city since no cars are allowed here. But the safety of this protest soon left this area, and they headed into rush hour traffic in downtown Louisville. Other bicyclists who are not members of this group do agree with the message that the streets in Louisville are pretty dangerous. For Steve Cruz, his hands are once again playing beautiful music.
Playing piano was just such a passion, and not to be able to do that was just, really frightening.
88 Ivories, tickled by scarred hands. His bones broken in a bicycle accident 7 weeks ago.
My guardian angel was with me that day.
At Waterfront Park,
it's not particularly safe to be a bicyclist in Louisville.
More bicyclists with similar stories.
I've been hit by cars several times, and then when you're riding your bike, you could get a bottle thrown at you or a car try and run you off the road.
Despite the accidents, they take to the streets of downtown.
I pay as much for that road out there as everybody else does.
Their protest, called Critical Mass, an attempt to raise bicycle awareness.
When they see us out in the street, it's unusual.
Critical Mass started a few years ago in San Francisco. There, bikers clogged the streets. Many of them were arrested. But here in Louisville, only a couple members of the group have been arrested. Most of the time, the walkers just wave. Sometimes drivers zoom by awfully close.
More people would use a bicycle. They felt safer to get out there on the roadway.
It has made a much more conscientious driver of me as well, to be cognizant of the kind of the safety space that a bicyclist needs.
Like playing the piano, you never forget how to ride a bicycle, and you never forget the accidents.
That will be with me forever, that event, and hope to God that would never happen again.
But these feet won't stay at these pedals. A few more songs, Steve Cruz is ready to get back on the bike. And you would never tell by listening, but Steve says his hands are still a little bit stiff from the accident and the surgery he had at Jewish Hospital. Now, as for Critical Mass, they meet right back here in the Great Lawn. It's the last Friday of every month at 5 p.m. Live at Waterfront Park, Adam May, WHAS 11 News 19.
Thanks, Adam. Rescue crews in Pennsylvania tonight are still working against the odds. They continue to drill, even at this hour, hoping to rescue 9 coal miners. They've been trapped in that mine in Somerset, Pennsylvania for more than 40 hours now, but rescuers remain optimistic. Monica Schumann reports on the latest developments.
Rescuers say they are making very good progress. Right now, they were drilling 2 rescue shafts simultaneously, and they hope if that progress continues, they may possibly reach the air pocket where they believe the miners are trapped by dawn. That is, if they don't encounter any more setbacks. Despite an agonizing and disappointing day, rescuers hope this will be the last night the miners have to spend trapped 240 feet underground.
We're looking at making good progress overnight. We're hoping we may be down to the 30 feet that we want it to be tomorrow morning.
Earlier, the rescue efforts had a setback when the giant drill being used to dig a hole big enough to get the men out broke. It had bored all the way down to 105 feet when the bit broke off. Soon, word spread that it was fixed and working again. Then another letdown when that news proved wrong.
It certainly is a roller coaster overall, and it's certainly something that we wish would not have happened. Folks are getting tired. They do want to hear good news.
Finally, the broken bit was pulled out, and with the new bit rushed in by helicopter, rescuers began drilling a second hole 75 feet away. Progress is painfully slow, but crews say they've now pumped in enough air to create a sizable air pocket and pumped out enough water to reduce the water level. That gives rescuers and the miners' families reason to believe the trapped men are still alive. Anxious relatives who have been spending their time at the drill site and at a local firehouse are keeping the faith.
Everybody's still 100%, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they're very optimistic.
Very optimistic. They're going to come out alive.
Until then, the families keep watching and waiting for word from the site. There is an added concern that if the miners are trapped in water, they may begin to develop hypothermia. But rescuers are hoping by flushing in 100-degree compressed air, they may keep the miners warm. In Somerset, Pennsylvania, Monica Schumann, WHAS 11 News 19.
And developing news out of Washington tonight, the House has approved the largest government reorganization in history. Members voted 295 to 132 to approve the formation of a Homeland Security Agency. The vote gives President Bush the broad powers he says he needs to fight terrorism.
A disturbing health story out of Florida tonight. 2 boys have contracted rare infections after just swimming in lakes. Both lakes were contaminated with deadly organisms. One boy went swimming in a lake in Orlando in Orange County, the other in Volusia County. The dangerous types of amoeba are very common in Florida lakes. They enter the body through nasal passages and skin abrasions. Then they move into brain tissue. Both boys listed in critical condition tonight. Health officials say human infection from the bacteria is extremely rare. Only 100 cases have been reported in the U.S. Now, it's not likely the deadly organisms exist here in Kentucky or Indiana. They only survive in areas where the weather is warm year-round.
Tonight, Georgetown, Indiana is cracking down on water usage. You can face fines for using too much water there. The city passed an emergency ordinance today after several residents reported problems with water pressure. The town's water system is being updated to repair the problem and to service the growing population. But until the project is complete, the new ordinance will be in effect. It means you cannot water your lawn, wash cars, or fill a swimming pool during the hours of 6 a.m. through 11 p.m. every day. There's what you can't do. Any violations will be subject to a $100 fine. The water project is expected to be completed by November.
Tonight, the plan for 2 new Ohio River bridges is public and it's official. After decades of debate, the final routes have been announced for the 2 bridges that will connect Kentucky and Indiana.
And we'll finally be able to take down that sign at the end of I-65 over near the Clark Maritime Center that says, "No bridge to Kentucky."
Indiana Governor Frank O'Bannon joined Governor Paul Patton today of Kentucky as they unveiled the plans. As we first reported earlier this week, 1 bridge will be built southwest of Prospect. It will go under U.S. Route 42, then across the Ohio River. The second bridge will be built downtown, east of the present Kennedy Bridge. All lanes will be one way going north. All lanes on the Kennedy will head south. Once approved, the $1.4 billion project is expected to take 8 to 10 years to complete. Demolition is underway on 3 acres of land that Louisville wants for the next phase of Waterfront Park. Late this afternoon, a wrecking ball was used to demolish these old concrete silos on the riverfront. They sit on land right next to the Big 4 Bridge. The Lafarge Corporation owns the old silos. The owners aren't selling, but they say they plan to keep the land and keep it vacant. The city wants the space to build a giant circular walkway to the bridge in phase 2 of the park.
There was a huge turnout tonight to hear the Louisville Orchestra. More than 5,000 people packed into Tyler Park to hear the orchestra conducted by Robert Franz. The goal of the event was to expose the orchestra to residents who don't normally attend their concerts, and the plan appeared to work.
I like the outdoors, you know, out here listening to the orchestra. It's a great orchestra. I just like to get a little culture, you know. I don't get as much culture as I should, so I'm trying to get a little dose of it tonight.
And tonight's concert was sponsored by 3rd Ward Alderman Bill Allison and the city of Louisville. Crowds also gathered in Shawnee Park tonight. Hot air balloons lit up the sky for the West Louisville Appreciation Festival. It's the annual homecoming for families in the West End. The festival lasts all weekend with live music, exhibits, and fun for the whole family.
Well, it's a problem that plagues women all around the world. How to make your lipstick last all day.
New products promise kissable lips from morning to night. Kirby Adams finds out, does it work? Next. Plus, the traditional sounds of Kentucky. More music. Barry Burnson finds them off the beaten path. We'll tell you about that next.
And we've had a very quiet evening here in Kentuckiana. Very warm and muggy one, but it has been quiet weather-wise. There is a thunderstorm chance for the weekend, primarily early in the weekend. That's a chance for that, but a sure bet for hazy, hot, and humid weather for both days. We'll have the details of what you can expect this weekend coming up.
You're watching Gary Rodemeyer, Melissa Swan, Ken Schultz Storm Team Forecast, and Gary Gupton Sports. This is WHAS 11 News. Coverage you can count on.
This newscast is sponsored by Ponderosa.
Some of Kentucky's best traditions can be heard here in Louisville this weekend.
The finest folk musicians in the country are gathering for the annual music festival at the Iroquois Park. That's where we find Barry Burnson tonight off the beaten path.
The top 40 may change, the hot styles of music may come and go, from Sinatra to the Beatles to NSYNC, but folk music not only survives, it thrives. The musicians and their followers are loyal to each other. Golden Bough is one of the headline acts this year. They came again from California to play Celtic music, tunes that crossed the Atlantic centuries ago to become the Kentucky sound. The musicians know they won't ever be #1 on the hit parade.
Of course, we would always love to reach our largest audience possible. We're not always going to be the most trendiest music, but we always speak to the heart. That's the important thing.
It's the 27th year of this festival. This year, the state championships in hammered dulcimer and mountain dulcimer playing will be decided here. The winners will go on to the national competition in Kansas.
Barry, I think it's kind of a reunion. We see the same faces. A lot of times those faces started out here as babies, and now they're bringing their own children. It never ceases to amaze me how many folks come back year after year, and this is just part of their summer.
As always at these events, a lot of the fun is to be had away from the main stage, for example, here in the parking area, and over here, under what's known as the Louisville Dulcimer Society's Jam Tree. Under its boughs, beginners will be able to trade tunes with nationally known performers. From Iroquois Park, Barry Burnson, WHAS 11 News Night Team.
Well, the Kentucky Music Weekend, as they call it, continues through Sunday. Tomorrow, the hours are 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. You have a long time to see that. Then Sunday from noon to 5. It's all at Iroquois Park, which is off of New Cut Road.
And one of the new trends in makeup these days is long-lasting lipstick. They claim you can apply it after breakfast and it will still be there when you sit down to dinner. Tonight, Kirby Adams puckers up to find out, does it work?
Max Factor, Revlon, and CoverGirl all have lipsticks they claim won't wear off. And wouldn't that be great? We took tubes of these long-lasting lipsticks to Debbie Goldstein.
Good job. Oh, can we do another one?
As the director of a full-time Mother's Day Out program at the Jewish Community Center, her days are filled coordinating enrichment programs for 14 to 36-month-olds. That means lots of talking and very little time to reapply lipstick. Debbie began by using each lipstick for a week. Now, these brands range in price from about $10 to $15. Each comes with a lip paint that provides the color and then a gloss that you reapply throughout the day to keep your lips moist. Right off the bat, Debbie had trouble with one, the Revlon Lip Stay.
And I bought it, and it comes right off. It did not work.
Both CoverGirl and Max Factor stayed on once they dried.
Let me show you this mark here. I accidentally got some of the CoverGirl on my hand yesterday. Since then, I've gone running, and I've taken a shower, and it's still fairly dark.
But Debbie likes the Max Factor brand best.
What I do is I put it on in the morning, and I put a little bit of the gloss on afterwards, and it is on all day. I can eat, I can drink, I can run around, do everything I need to do. I've gone swimming. It stays on all day.
So does it work? Well, according to this busy Mother's Day Out director, the Max Factor keeps her looking good all day long. Kirby Adams, WHAS 11 News.
And Kirby says all three lipsticks can feel dry and require that you apply the gloss throughout the day. But again, the best one, according to our test, Max Factor's Lip Affinity. I'm sure you both will run right out and get that, huh?
But it does dry out your lips a little bit.
A little bit. I've tried those, and it does have a drying, but sometimes it's nice to have it stay on. My own personal.
There you have it.
There you have it.
You dry out the humidity a little bit, I suppose.
You could give it a shot, but I don't think it's going to work.
No.
I'm sorry, but
it's here for the weekend, is it?
It is here, and it's going to stick around, pardon the pun, but it's going to stick around on into early next week before we get a bit of a break. And we'll talk about that in just a second. First of all, talked about a quiet evening here in Kentuckiana with the heat and humidity. Sometimes you expect those showers and thunderstorms to flare up. That has not been the case at least through the evening hours. But check out an area of the country where thunderstorms are rapidly firing now, and that's an area north of St. Louis. St. Louis is down here at the bottom of your screen. These showers and thunderstorms, this is just an hour's worth of activity here, and you can see how quickly they have developed. They're well north of Interstate 70. This is in central Illinois. Very potent storms there, some of those producing hail. They have had a couple counties in central Illinois under severe thunderstorm warning, and it's that activity that is trying to expand at least to the southeast a little bit and gives us a chance for a shower or thunderstorm here early tomorrow morning. But again, this is the picture right now. No rain anywhere close to us. Let's take a look at the big map now and show you what's going on. We have a warm front that is moving up in our direction. It gave us one round of showers. It came to our doorstep and then fizzled out here about midday. The second round forming along this frontal system in Illinois, also back here in Iowa and Missouri. We have a number of watches out. There's a tornado watch. There's been a number of tornado warnings for counties, looks like around St. Joseph, Missouri. This one, severe thunderstorm watch just issued for parts of Iowa and northern Missouri. And again, these thunderstorms that we checked on our own radar here in Illinois. So good distance away from us. If they do reach us, it'll probably be closer to dawn tomorrow morning. Now, there's been a bit of a shift northwards of the severe weather threat, and doesn't include us, the threat of severe weather across central and northern Indiana for tonight. And then tomorrow, central northern Indiana, much of Ohio, maybe eastern and northeastern Kentucky, our chances for rain diminishing as the weekend progresses. The threat for severe weather also diminishing and headed northbound by Sunday. Currently 82 degrees right now, south wind at 7 miles per hour. 87 was our high temperature, 71 our low, and again, very close to being on target for this time of the year. 103 and 55, the records for the day. As for a Storm Team Futurecast, here's that warm front as it edges into the region tonight and moves past us, close enough to us to give us a shower thunderstorm chance early tomorrow morning. As we get on through the day tomorrow, that warm front continues to move off and away and takes the greater threat of showers and thunderstorms with it, but leaves us with hot and humid conditions tomorrow. Temperatures in the low to mid 90s, the heat index ranging basically in the low 100s. Anywhere from 100 to about 105 degrees will be the heat index for Saturday. Sunday, even hotter, isolated shower chance, if any. Best chance for showers and thunderstorms over in the mountains of eastern Kentucky on Sunday, and temperatures topping out a couple degrees warmer than Saturday. For tonight, chance for a thunderstorm by dawn and 74 degrees. There's that 30% chance we'll start off the weekend with thunderstorms. Slight chance for a shower Saturday afternoon. High temperature of 92. Only an isolated showers possible on Sunday at 94. Then late Monday into Tuesday, that's the next chance for more organized thunderstorm activity, which could drop our temperatures back to normal into the upper 80s by midweek.
Just a hot summertime week, isn't it?
Take it easy outdoors. Yeah. Enjoy the festivals. Just don't push it.
Okay, thank you, Ken.
Well, these days, airport security checks the luggage for just about everything, but now an adult toy has caused problems for one passenger. Next.
Plus, they've got one of the hottest shows on television, but now the Osbournes could be headed to court.
Meteorologist Ken Schultz holds the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society.
The Bachman block is growing again.
Well, tonight a woman is accusing airport security of going too far. She was yanked off a Delta Airlines plane because an adult toy in her luggage was vibrating. According to her lawsuit, security made her remove the toy from her bag and then hold it up. She was humiliated. The suit seeks unspecified damages and accuses the airline of negligence and gender discrimination.
The rock family of Ozzy Osbourne is facing a lawsuit tonight. A producer says the Osbournes stole his idea to turn their life into a reality show. That show is now the top-rated show on MTV. But the producer says he met with Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne several times between 1999 and 2000 to talk about putting their life on TV. Court papers show that he registered his idea with the Writers Guild of America.
And now, here are the headlines for tomorrow's Courier-Journal. The Louisville Archdiocese asked the court to dismiss 156 sex abuse lawsuits. An appeals court rejects a pension hike for state lawmakers. Plus, an 8-page special section details the Ohio River Bridge project.
Coming up, the Cincinnati Reds lose another all-star to injury.
And a former U of L star gets his shot at starting in the NFL. He has had to do it inside today. Brad Newt explains next.
It's Mazda 0%.
The Cincinnati Reds can't keep their veteran all-stars in order. Ken Griffey Jr. returned to the lineup Monday. Barry Larkin had to leave the game tonight. Larkin came out of the game against the Mets in the 4th inning after complaining of a sore back. No update on how bad that injury is. It could be day-to-day. Ken Griffey Jr. got his clock cleaned by Mets pitcher Mark Guthrie. Hits the helmet. Jr. is okay, did stay in the game, even scored a run, but the Reds lost Larkin and lost the game. Mo Vaughn brought home the game winner with 2 out in the 9th inning. New York wins it 3-2. The Louisville Bats continue their road work at Charlotte, get a win 7-5. Louisville returns to Slugger Field next Friday. Bad weather kept Louisville native Chris Redmond from calling plays on the field. Instead, he called them on the court. The Baltimore Ravens had to spend their first day of training camp indoors because of the rain. After 2 years of watching from the sidelines, the former Male and U of L star finally has the upper hand on starting, even though it was inside.
I think it could have been a positive, you know, going in there, going over a lot of mental reps. We didn't do a lot of physical stuff. Went in there and went over a lot of our audibles, and pretty much kind of didn't just going out there as far as a mental aspect. I thought it was pretty good.
If Redmond keeps that starting job through camp, he'll get his first shot in a preseason game August 9th. Another former U of L and NFL quarterback is hosting a kids football camp tomorrow morning. Jeff Brom, coach of the Louisville Fire Arena football team, is inviting children to a camp at Male High School in the morning. Registration begins at 8:30. The camp starts at 9. Fire cheerleaders are having a cheer camp for girls at the same time. About 200 kids from 3 to 15 have already signed up. For $30, you get the camp, a t-shirt, pizza, and 2 tickets to tomorrow night's game. When Louise Wilson was 22 years old, she was a local golfing phenom. Now at age 72, she's got 50 years of experience. She won the Ladies Falls Cities tournament for the 9th time, 50 years after she won it for the first time. She beat Martha McMahon for the title, and Louise says it might not be her last championship.
I mean, you never think about it. You know, you just keep playing, and it happens. In fact, Martha said to me, she said, "How in the world could you do this for 50 years?" I said, "I guess I'm just dance."
She's funny.
She's a natural, isn't she? We'll be right back.
WHAS 11 Sports is sponsored by River City Bank.
Looking for your banker to pay a decent return on your money market account? Well, if you're getting the runaround, why not open up a money management account at River City Bank and get a great 3.25% APY? A great rate, not one that just runs you around. Switch to River City Bank. Hometown banking, hometown people. We give the big banks a run for their money.
Severe storms forming back through central Illinois this evening. Most of those will stay well to our north, but a 30% chance we'll start off the weekend with a thunderstorm here. Weekend will be hot, low to mid-90s both days.
All right, thank you, Ken, and stay tuned to Good Morning Kentuckiana Saturday morning for all the festivals and concerts and everything that's happening this weekend.
Good way to start your Saturday morning. We'll see you next week. Good night.